to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Lily. I just want to say welcome. I'm so glad you're here joining me today. So my channel is a place where I share all of my healthy, vegan, mostly whole food, plant-based recipes with you. And today I have another exciting recipe coming your way. Apple Spice Crumb Cake. This one is a dessert recipe, but it's fall inspired. It's made with apple cider and delicious fresh apples. It's made really healthy so that you can feel good about eating your dessert. Essentially, it's a guilt-free dessert. It is so yummy, let me tell you. I served this to Jake, my husband, and he flipped out. He was like, this is the best cake. I want it for my birthday. Like, don't change anything about it, because I was like recipe testing. So stay tuned. I'm gonna show you how to make this apple spice crumb cake for yourself. So first, I have a small, about the size of my hand, Japanese sweet potato, and I actually baked this last night and let it sit in the fridge overnight, and that helps it really develop all of its sweetness. So I would definitely recommend doing that. So I'm just gonna peel it and get that in the bowl, along with 2 really ripe bananas. I had these in the fridge and that turns the outside brown, that's why they're so brown. And then you're just going to use a potato masher to mash these all together. Until it is creamy and smooth. Oh, and I forgot to say the sweet potato I roasted at 400 for about 40 minutes. So you want to mash this really well, like you almost want it to be kind of whipped in texture. And it will kind of lighten in color. You can see this is a good texture right here. Next, you want to make a vegan buttermilk. So you're gonna use about a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar and 1 cup of unsweetened plain soy milk. I have exactly 1 cup, that's awesome. Just gonna add this straight in with our mashed banana and sweet potato. And then you're gonna wanna use some apple cider. Get apple cider where the only ingredient is apples. And you're gonna measure 1 cup of that. Add that straight in. Next, I'm gonna use some date sugar to sweeten this cake, and I'm gonna do 1/2 cup of date sugar. Feel free to lessen it. If you're gonna be making this for breakfast, you could definitely lessen it or maybe even totally omit it. But if you're making it as a dessert, you definitely want to do 1/2 cup of date sugar. I'm just going to whisk all of these ingredients together first, and then we'll add all of our spices. So I use a combination of allspice. I'm going to do 1 teaspoon of allspice and 1 teaspoon of pumpkin spice. You can kind of swap those out for each other, mess with the spices, do it however you like. And then I add in some extra cinnamon because I love cinnamon. Probably like 1/4 teaspoon or so. If all you have is cinnamon, you could totally just do like 2 teaspoons of cinnamon and that would be fine. And then I'm gonna do 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Just to balance all the flavors in here. We want this cake fluffy, so I'm gonna do 1 tablespoon of baking powder. And to also help it rise, we're gonna do 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Just gonna mix all of these together. And then last, I'm gonna add in my oat flour. I actually ground this oat flour myself in my Vitamix the other day, so you can use that or you can buy it already made. Just be sure to measure it the way where you scoop it into your measuring cup and level it off. That way it's not packed in there. I like to mix it in each cup at a time. You can see all the ingredients reacting with each other, and it's actually like foaming up right now, which is good. That means this thing's gonna rise. Second cup going in. And you don't really have to worry about over mixing too much because oat flour does not have any gluten in it. So this is also a gluten-free cake. Next, I have 1 medium apple chopped, and this is actually a Fuji apple. I've also made it with honeycrisp, which was amazing. But just use a really good, tasty, and sweet apple, and you should be good. So I'll measure this out, but it should be about 1.5 cups. 1.25 cups probably. Yeah. So about 1.25 cups, or just 1 medium-sized apple chopped. Really small. A little trick right here, just kind of spread your apples evenly over the top of the batter, and then you're gonna sprinkle about 2 to 4 tablespoons over the top. Just make sure they're all kind of covered. I did 3 tablespoons. And just fold these apples in. The flour on top of the apples just helps the apples not sink in your cake, because you kind of want them to be evenly dispersed throughout, not just chilling at the bottom. Okay, and there you go. Our batter looks really good. We're gonna set this aside and get our pan ready, and then make the crumble topping also really quick. So for the crumb topping, all we're gonna do is blitz up some walnuts. So I'm gonna do 1 cup of walnuts. I'm just gonna pulse these actually on the puree setting because I want them to be really, really fine. All right, just like that, that's perfect. Okay, next I've got my pan, and this is I believe it's an 8x8 square pan, and it's non-stick, but I'm also gonna put some parchment in the bottom. This just helps it be super easy to take out of the pan. And then next you're gonna take your crumbled walnuts, which don't even really look like walnuts now, they just look like this nice powdery topping. Okay, and just spread these as evenly across the top as you can. Spread that across. And then I do a final dusting of cinnamon, because I love it, and it's pretty. Okay, so this is gonna go into our oven. It's preheated at 350, and it's gonna go in for 40 minutes. Now, if you want to level your cake up a little bit, you can make a simple icing just to drizzle on top. So I'm just gonna use a little bit of date sugar, about 1/4 cup. And a little bit of oat milk. I'm just gonna set this aside and allow the cake to continue to cool off before we cut it to it. All right, so the cake has been cooling for about 20-ish minutes now, so I'm just gonna cut into it and show you what it looks like. And yes, I'm using a metal spatula on a non-stick pan. However, the parchment paper is on the bottom, and I'm not gonna be cutting or scraping it off. Sorry, that's just like a pet peeve of mine when I see someone using metal with non-stick and they just like scrape in the pan or something. I just wanted to put it out there. I'm not doing that. I know you're not supposed to do that. All right, look at this masterpiece. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me drizzle on some of that icing too. that looks so delicious. Hey, so it's actually the next day and I'm gonna do the taste test today because the one I did last night, I had a big piece of broccoli in my teeth the whole time, and I didn't watch the footage back until earlier today, so I didn't know, and so I'm just gonna redo the taste test for you. That way you don't have to stare at a big piece of broccoli in my teeth the whole time. But yeah, sneak peek, it was delicious, of course. So here is the piece from today, and it's actually been in the fridge overnight. I do recommend keeping it in the fridge. It'll stay better a lot longer that way. And whenever you're ready to eat it, just pop it in the microwave for like 45 seconds and then drizzle on some of that delicious icing and you are good to go. So let's go in for a taste. It's so fluffy, I'm not even kidding. All of the spices in here, plus the apple cider and the fresh apple pieces. This just screams fall, and I'm telling you, you have to go make it. And the crumb topping, wow. I hope you enjoyed this recipe as much as I enjoyed eating it because it was so good. Not to mention an easy one bowl recipe. Yeah, and it cooks under an hour, so that's pretty amazing. If you enjoyed today's video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. I appreciate you watching so much, and just to get to know all of you a little bit better, if you're new here, comment down below your name and what is your favorite fall activity. Mine is probably either going to like the apple orchard or a pumpkin patch, something kind of outdoorsy. That's more my vibe, but altogether I really love fall, and I hope this recipe helps you enjoy your fall a little bit more. So thanks for watching again. I will see you very soon in another video. Bye.